Before I start today's video, I wanted to talk to you about something that was showed to me by a friend. He sent me a link to 4chan showing a leaked list of Sun and Moon Pokémon. I brushed it off thinking it was the same leaked list I covered 2 days ago, but when I checked it out I saw crude hand-drawn images of Pokémon that I have never seen. As you can see on screen now, this does look somewhat convincing at first glance, so I continued investigating and found translations of names of everything on screen. And I am going to come right out and call this fake. Like the last leaked list, there were some Pokemon I would love to see. It starts off believable and then tumbles down into obscurity with a set of Pokemon based off things in the Alice in Wonderland stories. You have the Jabberwocky, which would be the Jabberwocky, Chickadee, the Cheshire Cat, and Mad Ratter, which looks to be a mix between the Mad Hatter and either the White Rabbit or the March Hare. Though I would love to see these Pokemon, I don't think I could ever see Game Freak creating Pokemon based off of characters from a book. Oh, and there is one major thing missing from this list, and that would be Magearna, the only confirmed new Pokemon that we know of. Since that is taken care of, let's get on with the show. Playing through Generation 1 again has had me thinking. Red and Blue has a good deal of similarities to Pokemon X and Y. After realizing this, I quickly researched this and found out there are a handful of things that are almost identical. From remixed music being used in certain battles to moves like Hyper Beam and Psychic having touched up versions of their audio from the original game. Now I'm going to start with something very obvious. X and Y share the colors of Red and Blue. Now, this isn't unique to X and Y. Ruby and Sapphire also share these colors, which is why I started with this fact first. My next fact brings us to the first forest we have ever entered. I have on screen now the overhead view of Ventolin Forest. Now, I'll bring up the first forest we entered in Kalos, Ventolin Forest. You can see blatantly they are the same exact layout. Now this could be just a nod back to Kanto, but it's still a similarity. On top of that, this is one of the few places in both games where Pikachu can be caught. Another small thing X and Y has, similar to Red and Blue, upon reaching Professor Sycamore's lab in Lumio's City, he gives you a second starter, which is one of the Kanto starters. I know this was so you could have a Mega Pokemon on your team, but they are still from Kanto, and a similarity, though a cheap shot with a similarity. Thankfully, this next similarity is not a cheap one. In both Gen 1 and 6, we have something blocking our path that needed a special item to remove. That's right, Snorlax. Snorlax blocked our path from continuing and needed us to retrieve the Pokeflute to wake him up. I mean, come on, this is definitely a throwback to Red and Blue with this. These are just things that you don't think of. Like, you don't think of at first. Then you start thinking, and you see X and Y and Red and Blue have a lot of things almost identical. The next similarity will not only draw from Gen 1, but also their remakes of Fire Red and Leaf Green. In Gen 1, we were introduced to the legendary bird trio, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. And in Gen 6, we got to chase after one of them depending on the starter we chose. Now, this was not the first time this feature was used. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, after we beat the game, one of the 3 legendary beast Pokemon, Entei, Suicune, and Raikou, began wandering the region based off the starter we chose. Another coincidence, deliberately reaching back, or for some unseen reason. And last and final reason I was able to dig up leads us to the final fight of Red and Blue, and in turn, the final legendary we would face in both Gen 1 and X and Y. Mewtwo. We were barred from fighting the most powerful legendary Pokemon in both games until we beat the Elite Four. With the man standing guard in front of the mouth of the cave, you can see the similarities between both Gen 1 and Gen 6 with this again. Now, one could argue it was because the Mega again, but still, they could have done that in a totally separate way than doing it in the same exact way Pokemon Red and Blue did it. See, these things are just things that throw up little flags here and there that you gotta really reach out for and grab and look at. Now, I could be grasping straws, though, to connect Red and Blue to X and Y. so I can further have evidence of Sun and Moon being like Johto. If you know more connections than the ones I've listed, let me know down in the comments below or on Twitter. Leave a like and a comment and follow me on Twitter. Come back tomorrow for episode 2 of my playthrough of Pokemon Blue. This has been Black Phoenix. Thanks for watching.